Mary had a little lamb.
False. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
Just got this footage in. It's pretty remarkable. A time-lapse video taken from a webcam in Fort Myers. Now, what you're watching is the storm surge rolling in, going down one street, and then going down a street quickly, relentlessly, flooding the entire neighborhood. You see the storm surge there. The city is seeing record flooding tonight, and the full extent of the storm surge, well, that is yet to be felt in some places as we continue to watch this. It's incredible to see this water just move down that road.
Anybody want to buy swampland in Florida? Because that is what happened. That is what happened. People bought swampland in Florida and built on it, and there it goes. Here you have it, and there it goes. You know, I mean, I wouldn't wish this on an alligator. I wouldn't wish this on an invasive python. Only a bufo toad. I would wish this on a bufo toad. They kill dogs. But anyway, I have to tell you, this is unbelievable. You know, I am in Florida. I'm on the East Coast of Florida. Yesterday, Orlando, which is also on the East Coast, but north of me, they're flooded too. They're so flooded. I mean, they had to take senior citizen centers, take people out on gurneys, take people out on float them out. This is unbelievable. This is just. And it's going to take a lot of work and billions of dollars to bring Florida back in time to be struck by another hurricane. And that is what they will do. That is what will happen here. That is what exactly is going to happen. They're going to build back the same way they built before, and it's going to continue to happen over and over again, even though we now know that flooding is the issue. Flooding is the issue. Why? Because the storms, because of climate change, are bigger, wetter, and slower than they ever have been. And you know what's crazy about this hurricane? It's going out over the ocean now. It's over the Atlantic now. It started in the Gulf, crossed over our state last night. Just so you know, this is crazy. But I'm down here, in West Palm Beach. So I'm below Orlando, and I'm on the East Coast, and Tampa and Fort Myers and all these towns that you're now learning that exist on the West Coast. We're so far away from each other. I mean, hundreds of miles away. And I don't want to call it damage to my house, but the messiness of the wind and the messiness of the rain and all that. So I'm out there last night. I've been out there, throughout the whole storm. I keep going home after the show in the midst of, this, and trying to stay up with it, trying to keep the mung and the debris to some sort of a manageable experience, right? Because look, Howard, is having back surgery tomorrow. I'll still be here. Don't ask me how. Loretta was in the hospital this week. She's home, and now we're working on trying to figure out how do we get her nursing care, because ain't insurance fun, everybody? So I keep going home trying to keep the debris manageable for me. So I'm out there with a machete, swear to God. I'm out there with a machete because I got lots and lots and lots of stuff, around. I got all these plants. You know me, I love to garden. Well, it's destroyed. It's, decimated. So I'm out there with a machete, cutting, hacking at the heliconia, hacking at the, birds of paradise, trying to, and then I take the skimmer to get the crap that fell into the pool, the leaves and the branches and the debris from the powder puff tree and fern leaves and everything, trying to skim out. And all of a sudden, like this gust of wind, this major freaking force of nature just blows through the backyard. And Howard's out there watching me clean, because that's what men do. Yeah, he's got a bad back. So, okay, let's cut him just a tiny bit of slack. No. Okay, so I will. No. But he's out there watching me clean, and he's at the edge of the pool, and this comes blowing through, And I swear to God, I got like a little picnic table out there with an umbrella, that goes through the table and down into the base, the heavy, well, this one's metal, heavy metal. And it just gets underneath the umbrella and literally lifts the entire table. And there's, 6 chairs around this table? The entire table and 3 chairs and just, whoo, into the pool. And the umbrella literally goes, woo, like right past Howard's head. I mean, almost put him out of his misery. This close to his head. Like this close. And you know what he says? At least we were here to see it. Like because when you watch it on TV and you see all this decimation, you see all this damage, and you see all this, flooding, and you know that you live in Florida, and for some strange reason, your little quadrant of the penis was spared. Your little tiny, like head of the penis is where we are, and for some strange reason, this particular hurricane went underneath the tip of the, phallus, and went up around the phallus to the other side where, the nads should be, and attacked the nad portion, and then flew across the phallus to the other side, missing my little quadrant for major flooding and major wind. And we're all sitting here going, okay, so some idiots, I will tell you, here in Florida, like it'll never happen to them. It'll never, ever happen to them. It's just, either they're new here, they've not been through anything before, or they're just in denial, complete and utter denial, instead of feeling like so freaking lucky for a brief moment, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Because the ocean is burling hot. The Gulf of Mexico was like 87 degrees. The Gulf of Mexico. That's why this thing spun and grew and grew. Do you see how fast these storms escalate now? They go from systems to fronts to little tropical storms, areas of concern, and then the next thing you got a Category 4. It's 3 miles less than a Category 5, and bam, it hits barrier islands. It hit. I mean. It's so mind-blowing how this is all happening. And it's creepy and crazy. There are sharks in the street, by the way. There are literally sharks that were blown out of the ocean and are swimming around Fort Myers. They are swimming around, Cape Coral. They are swimming around Sanibel Island. And so these things are islands. Some of them are islands, like Sanibel's an island. There's one bridge that goes to the island. And guess what? It ain't there anymore. But there's still people on the freaking island with no electricity and no freaking water. Yeah. Sitting there. So now we have to go get them by air or go get them by boat, and then the boats are going to need to refuel. So I mean, this is like this is just crazy, and all because what we had there before the development occurred, before everybody decided, hey, wouldn't it be fun to live on the west coast of Florida where it used to be swampland? Wouldn't it be fun if we built, apartment buildings and housing, out of cinder blocks? Wouldn't that be fun? Everybody just started moving here like crazy. I think since the pandemic, our population on the west coast of Florida has gone up like 124%. That used to be marshy grassland. That used to be barrier, mangroves. And guess what they used to do? They used to absorb the water, or at least slow the water down. Well, they're gone now. All that green, natural, defense for Mother Nature is gone now. And what have we added? We've added warming to the scenario. What could possibly go wrong? What could go wrong? So anyway, just so you know, this thing is regrouping out in the Atlantic, and it's now going to hit probably South Carolina, like somewhere around Charleston, tomorrow as a Category 1 hurricane. Yeah, it's going to reconstitute itself.
All things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, The Randi Rhodes Show.
parts of Florida where this is impacting happen to be some of the fastest growing places in the country. Florida's population has skyrocketed. It's continuing to surge. And let me just show you. This is a map showing the storm surges that are on Cape Coral, just Cape Coral and Fort Myers alone. Hopefully we have this. And this is just some video that you can see it. This is what it looks like when water claims back land. Oh. And it's terrifying to think about being in one of those places. You see Fort Myers and Cape Coral are right under that blue when that blue is washing over it. Yeah. Just in your expectation, afterwards, when the rebuilding starts, if insurance covers it, because by the way, insurance companies are fleeing the state. Yeah. What next? Should we just expect more building?
Well, unfortunately, all the evidence we have tells us that we're going to continue to rebuild and to build more. In fact, there's a world of people who are really serious about climate change who are suggesting we start to think about how we retreat productively to prevent catastrophes like this from happening. Instead, we continue to subsidize development on a massive scale. And frankly, I don't think it's sustainable. One of the really big issues we have now is that when there's a disaster, whether it's New Orleans or New York, we spend billions of dollars just building back what we had before. And unfortunately, the earth that we live on now is a different earth. And the climate system we have is a different climate. And so if we build back what was there before, it's just going to go under, whether it's 1 year, 5 year, 100 years. That we need to build differently. We need to build smarter. And we can only do that if we take climate change seriously. To be honest, I'm pretty concerned that given the leadership in Florida right now, they're going to make some very bad decisions about what to do next.
Yeah. I mean, they're just going to build the same damn crap, the same damn way, and the same damn thing's going to happen, except it's going to happen in shorter and shorter periods of time. I mean, listen, how many 500-year storms did we have this year? How many 500-year tornadoes? How many 500-year fires? How many 500-year floods? How many 500-year hurricanes? How many, 500 years is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. It's, 500 years is now a season. Do you understand? It's like it's just so unbelievable, and there's no leadership on this. They're still climate deniers. I mean, they're still denying what is right in front of your face. They're still how long are we going to remain in denial about how and where and how and disturbing mangroves and disturbing oyster beds and disturbing green buffers that we used to have that are no longer. Look at Louisiana. Louisiana, they've lost 2,000 feet, 2,000 miles of land. I mean, it's like or I forget what. It can't possibly be 2,000 miles of land, can it? I have to check. But they've lost like so much, space that because, they keep building and building and building and doing away with the buffers, that slow the flooding, with the buffers that, help with the, climate change, that help to, keep land from flooding. And, flood insurance, most people don't have it. You understand that? Most people do not have flood insurance. Everybody thinks that they have flood insurance when they buy homeowners insurance. Homeowners insurance typically is wind insurance. It's not flood insurance. Flood insurance, I think, comes from just one place, from the national government. There's a national flood insurance program. And most people don't even have it. I don't know what's going to happen to all these people's cars and all their claims and all. But, Ron Death Sentence, he's very busy bopping up and down telling us today he's going to set up insurance villages and everybody's going to go and they're going to make their claim and they're going to get paid right away. They're going to get paid right. But the insurance carriers are leaving this state. They're not even here anymore. We need help from the federal government. So here's my question to you. All you people that are getting ready to vote for Republicans who say, we need to disband the federal government. We need to get rid of the feds. We need to, do something about getting rid of the feds. Really? Really? Who are you going to look to now? Who are you going to go to now? You know, it's so interesting that the Republican Party and this anti-government movement in this country and all their rhetoric about getting rid of the feds and Carrie Lake, oh, we should dismantle the federal government. And Michael Flynn was at some sort of a rally last night saying, let's just disband the federal government and go back to states' rights. Yeah, really? All your rhetoric goes right out the window every time you find yourself, responding to some sort of a disaster. Then all of a sudden it's about the president of the United States. It's about the federal government. It's about the federal flood insurance program. It's about the federal, NOAA and the science of weather forecasting and the science and the benefit that you get from being in a solvent government. Soon as you're hungry and lacking shelter, isn't it something that you expect the feds to come and get you? But when it's time to vote, you hate them. You hate them. It's very twisted and it's very sick. But that's who you are.
How would you describe your relationship and your conversation with Governor DeSantis?
It's totally irrelevant, but I'll answer it, okay? In fact, very fine. He complimented me. He thanked me for the immediate response we had. He told me how much he appreciated it, said he was extremely happy with what was going on. This is not about whether anything having to do with our disagreements politically. This is about saving people's lives, homes, and businesses. That's what this is about. And so I've talked to him 4 or 5 times already. And it's not a matter of my disagreements with him on other items.
Yes, because Ron DeSantis' entire political future, which is on the ballot in just, less than, 40 days, is dependent now upon Joe Biden. His entire political fortunes are dependent on Joe Biden showing up for him. And of course, Joe Biden will show up for him because Joe Biden is Joe Biden. He's not Donald Trump. Donald Trump would be down here throwing paper towels at people. Donald Trump would be down here saying, okay, the next 11 months, you don't get any electricity. That's what he did to Puerto Rico. And you know what? These people on Fox News are so stupid. I don't think that they realize that Puerto Rico is actually part of America. This was yesterday, okay, as the news started to roll out that what is today 2.6 million people are without electricity. 2.6 million without electricity and water. Without water. You got hospitals here. Hospitals. Old hospitals, decrepit hospitals, and fire stations flooded, inundated, no water. Oh, here, let me show you the Naples Fire Department. It's going to look more like Venice than it is like Naples, but look at this. This is a Cat 5. Okay, they said they built to the standard to withstand a Cat 5 hurricane, right? Look at that. There's your first responders. Hello. Oh, look, I have a little box. Maybe it's a lunch. Maybe it's a little lunch. Something I could put in the microwave there. Yeah, that was supposedly built to Cat 5 hurricane standards. You know what they said today? You know what they said? Oh, well, we didn't count on the flooding. We built it to Cat 5 winds, but we never thought about the flooding. We never did. I swear to God. I swear to God. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. California, it's the same thing. Oh, you look at the house. Oh, what a beautiful house. Oh, look at this house. Oh, it's in the middle of a forest. Then all of a sudden, it's gone. Fire! What are we doing? We are living in denial, like the people who still think the moon landing was rigged. That's who's in charge. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to RandiRhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.